Hello, it's Jennifer. Today is March 31st. It's the last day of the month, and I figured I'd go ahead and make a garden tour video. So starting here are my dwarf banana plants. They're recovering well now that it's warming up. So this one over here has got a new leaf coming out. This one here has already unfurled its new leaf, and this one here is unfurling its new leaf. Nothing special going on here. They just get watered by the sprinklers. And every once in a while when we eat a banana, I'll put the peel out here on the ground for the banana plants to get some extra potassium. And that's about it for the bananas. At least the ones over here. There's 2 more banana plants on the other side of the yard. Over here are the metal containers, and these are housing my small tomatoes. So over here is the Tasmanian chocolate, and surrounding the Tasmanian chocolate are some onion plants. I don't think I labeled the onions. Oh well, so I don't know what kind they are. And then over here is the super bush, and it's also surrounded by more onions. I think maybe these are the crystal onions, crystal wax onions, in which case they are getting close to being ready to harvest, just waiting for some bulbs to show up underneath the surface. Over here are 2 bush steak, and then also 2 mangaji peppers. So these are some, the mangaji are some Korean peppers. They taste very good. They also are very prolific, so I'm looking forward to those. They're really good in stir fry. And then over here are some more onions. Over here is the Little Bites tomato. I think Little Bites has reached its full height, and it's already flowering. So it doesn't look all that good. The bottom leaves look kind of ragged, sorry. And it might be a little dark in this corner, so even though it's reached its full height, it might not be what it's supposed to be. It might be smaller. And then over here is another bush steak, and the pepper behind it is one that I overwintered, and it looks like it's now coming back. And then behind here are artichokes, and these artichokes self-planted. So I planted 2 artichoke plants 3 years ago, and every year they've been coming back since. And sometimes they produce a full artichoke, sometimes they don't. So we'll see what we get this year. To the sides are rosemary, and these have been here since we got the house. And over here on the ground is some parsley that's gone wild. And over here, this used to be parsley and some oniony things, but I went ahead and removed those because I've got enough parsley. And instead I planted 2 cauliflower. The one up front is the orange dream, and the one behind is the graffiti cauliflower, which is purple. Over here are some peppers. And up front is the Jimmy Nardello over here. This is the yellow monster. These 2 here are poblano, and these 2 here are padron. And the one back here is Decunio. Back here is the Rosa Bianca eggplant that I moved from another area in the garden. So this one was saved from last year. Hopefully it'll grow nice and big this year. Last year I had a was it Purple Prince? Purple Rain, sorry. I had a Purple Rain eggplant in this position, and it grew huge. But I went ahead and removed it because it didn't do well over the winter. And I put this one in its place, so hopefully this will do well. And over the next bed are some more peppers. The two up front are the Chinese giant. These are a type of bell pepper. Over here is the sweet Spanish. Behind here are two cubanelles. That there is an herb called lovage, and lovage tastes like celery. So if you live in a hot area like I do in zone 10 and you want to grow some celery, grow lovage instead, because you're not going to be able to grow celery because it gets too hot. And then back here is a bell star broccoli and an orange dream cauliflower. I don't know if these are going to produce anything, particularly the broccoli. It miniaturized in this bed, so it's actually been here since October and hasn't produced much of anything and isn't very big. The same thing with this cauliflower, and I haven't had much luck yet with the orange dream. So we'll see if something comes in with this, but I'm not betting on it. In the next bed are my squashes. So I've got summer and winter squash. So these are butternut squash here. And then that's a crookneck squash. And then over there is another crookneck squash. And that one is a zucchini. I think it's the Lebanese variety, white Lebanese. And then these two leftover lettuce. So they're going to flower soon, so I need to cut them down and eat them. They still taste pretty good, so they haven't gone bad or anything. They're just really big, and well, if you've never seen lettuce before grow out, it basically grows into a column. Over here is my greens bed, and this one right here is the Kylon. It started to flower. I was going to cut these flowers off, but they're really pretty, and the hummingbird likes it. So there's a male hummingbird. He's maroon with a ruby throat, and he likes to come over here multiple times a day and suck on these flowers, and he lives behind the wall here. I decided not to wreck his world, so he's probably got a nest set up somewhere and he's waiting for the females to come, and usually hummingbirds are very territorial, so he's got his little nest staked out, and I really don't want to mess with him. Continuing down here are some Swiss chard plants. So I've got some yellow and some red. Behind that is dinosaur kale. Behind that is spinach. And more spinach down here, along with some lettuce. But I think I'm going to have to pull this lettuce because it's looking dead. Alright, and this pepper I need to prune and get ready for a new year. It looks like it's putting out some new leaves. I might even transplant this. It probably needs to be transplanted into the ground. And over here is a Reka tomato, and if you can find Reka in your area at a nursery, get one. I was not able to find seeds, so I had to get the plant start. Over here is Momotaro. Back here are some cucumbers, the lemon cucumbers. I had 4 plants in here. Only one now is surviving. So basically the pill bugs destroyed the other 3 plants. I put some soapy solution into the ground to see if I could thwart the pill bugs. So hopefully that'll keep them at bay for a little while this remaining cucumber grows. I had another batch of cucumbers in here before, as well as some melons. The pill bugs killed them. So I'm on my 2nd and 3rd attempt at getting something started in this bed. Over here is a dinosaur kale. And here's my onion bed. Usually I grow corn in this bed, but these onions aren't done yet, so I can't grow corn in here just yet. I don't think I'm going to make it to 4th of July for corn since these aren't ready, so I might have a fall crop of corn instead. So over here is some more lettuce. These are the romaine type lettuce. And over there is think that's 4 seasons, or maybe it's like fire lettuce or something. And then over here are the tomatoes. And this one is the Mandarin cross. This one here is the Coeur de Bois, or is it Coeur de Bois? I'm not sure. And this is, oops, get out of the shadow here, the vintage wine. So I tried to grow this one last year, but I grew it in a container, and it really never really took off in the container. But it seems to be doing much better in a raised bed. So hopefully I'll get to taste these. The picture of the fruits made the fruits look really pretty, so I'm looking forward to that. Over here is another, was it Mandarin? I think this is another Mandarin cross, or no, this is a Chadwick cherry. And it's got some flowers on it. And then over here is Anna's Russian. It's looking kind of sad. Hopefully it'll perk up soon. And another Reka. Behind me are some snow peas and snap peas, and these actually got really big. I picked the ripe ones up this morning, so we'll eat those for dinner tonight. But as you can see, the peas now have exceeded the trellis, and I guess they just keep going up in the sky, or maybe they'll lay down. I have no idea. We'll see. But it's starting to get hot, so I don't expect to have these plants anymore in probably 2 or 3 weeks if the temperatures continue to be in the mid-80s. Down here are the carrots. So I picked one of the carrots this morning because it was ready. It was a nice size, so it looks like there's a few more that I'll be ready to pick in the next coming weeks. And some more carrots over here. These are a mixture of carrots, so like all colors. I think there's like those black carrots, the atomic red, the yellow carrots, and then also some of the orange carrots. Over here is my fennel, so I need to pick these soon before they get too tough. And then these tomato plants here are all the bush steak. And over here is another, I think it's a Coeur de Bois tomato underneath this pea plant. These are shelling peas, and then back there I think there's some smaller snow peas. And then there's an old-fashioned red tomato somewhere in here, and then this over here. Well, these peas and these 2 tomato plants, I think it's 2, are actually volunteer, and they kind of grew together, and I tried to separate the 2 so I could put cages on the tomatoes, but these tomatoes refuse to be tamed, so I don't want to disturb the peas, so I don't know, I'm going to leave it alone, let it sprawl on the ground. If it goes too far out of the box, I do have some wire shelving that I can use to prop up the plants to keep them completely off the ground, because if they run on the ground, then the tomatoes will grow on the ground, and the bugs and the worms will eat them, probably the lizards too, and I won't get anything from it. Okay, over here are some more tomatoes. So this is the Costroludo Genovese, and over here is the pineapple tomato, and this one was grown from seeds that I saved from last year. These 2 are black creme. These are also from seeds that I saved from last year. And then back there, these 2 are black cherry, and these 2 are Italian ice. Again, these are tomatoes that I grew from seed that I saved from last year. And the ground next to them are the baby leeks. So some of these are now ready to be picked now that they're a 1/2 inch wide. And then growing up here are grapes. So this one back here is a Concord grape. I've forgotten what kind of grape this is. And I do believe that this one here is the Thompson seedless grape, and it's starting to sprout here and up there. And it looks like we're going to get grapes this year. So these look like little grape blood flowers. There's some more up here. So wish us luck. This plant over here tried to have grapes last year, but the ants got to them and the grapes were sparse looking. So it was kind of a half-hearted attempt. So back over here is the other parsley plant. I need to cut it back because it's shading out the chamomile and the dill. And I think over here the marjoram's almost dead. Over here appears to be a little raspberry plant, so I'm going to leave it be, see if it grows. And then over here is a little tatsoi, and then a couple of the purple bok choy, and that is the red mustard and the red Russian kale. Both of these are huge. Over here is some cilantro. It looks like it's going to flower soon because it's just too hot now. And then over here is a Jimmy Nardello pepper, and then some red onions that I grew from grocery store onions. So I just put the butts in the soil and see what comes up. And then over here is some sweet marjoram I planted, and more onions, and a sweet Spanish pepper in the middle. I believe these are more onions that I grew from onion butts. So you can see when you plant the onion butts, lots of onions kind of bunch up together and come out. This one's got a flower coming, so I'll just go ahead and see if I can snap that off. There we go. Problem solved. Here are my other cilantro plants. So soon these will be pollinated and turn into little coriander seeds that I can use for spice. And it's surrounded by some onions. Down here are some new plants. So these are pepper box poppies. They look kind of like weeds, so I have to remind myself that these are poppies and not some ugly dandelions. This is the pineapple sage, which I cut back. It used to just take over this whole area. But the plants need some sun, and I need to keep this tamed, or else it just blocks out the sun from even our living room here. And then this is the dragon cayenne. And then back there are two more lovage. And this is the purple rain eggplant and some more onions. And let's see. Oh, yes. The pink lemonade tree. So we tried some lemons off this tree and determined that that at this size they're ripe as a bee. I'm going to move and let Mr. B have his tree. I'm a little nervous here, guys. The lemons are light pink to kind of orangey flesh. They taste fruity. We made lemonade with them earlier this week. Tasted excellent. And over here looks like the Mexican lime, and then back there the mandarin orange is got some new leaves on it. So I'm happy because I was worried that mandarin orange was kind of dead, but it looks like it's doing well. And then in there's the Atlas tomato. This time I went ahead and put a cage around it. So I grew one of these last year, and when it says it has tomatoes that are over a pound, it means it. So this plant got about 3 feet tall, but it was heavy with tomatoes, and the plant itself couldn't support the tomatoes, so a lot of them drooped onto the ground and got eaten by bugs. So hopefully this year I can provide adequate support so it can actually try more than half of a tomato. And that's all for now. The garden looks pretty good. Nice spring day. And that's it.